Welcome to this year's episode of the Indy and Doctor podcast. We don't mess around. We're going to jump straight into it. Karan, have you seen this?
बोलो वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह बोलो वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह बोलो वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह दोनों हाथ जोड़ के वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह दोनों हाथ जोड़ के.
Respect. Big respect. That nursery rhyme, bro, has been in my head for the last few days. Not even joking. I've seen memes of this. I've seen people turn it into, drum and bass mixes. I've seen people turn it into memes of me walking into the office with that guy from, Christian Bale in that crazy film, American Psycho. Yeah, great he's film. Walking along. Yeah. And it says, the caption is, what people think I'm listening to. What I'm actually listening to. My headphones. And then bam, there it is. It's just, it's so catchy.
Yeah. Well, it's funny for me as a parent because so Miss Rachel is really big, right? Like she's killed in our Netflix deals and everything. Apparently there's a British version of Miss Rachel as well. She's got a name. Kenny was showing me. They were testing that. And then they were like, oh, there's like a Punjabi Miss Rachel. The other day I was like, Kenny's I was like, what? And it's basically this lady. And I was like, oh, okay. That's the initiative, the idea, getting people into both speaking Punjabi, Sikhi. Great. Like, it's just really good, man.
It's happy. It makes me happy. But what I don't like is people taking the piss out of her. I don't like that. I don't like everybody's ripped the piss out of her. So much so that the people who ran this page had to turn off the comments. That's not cool, man.
The meme page.
Yeah. Well, no. It wasn't the meme page. I found the original post. And it's on like a Sikhi page. And they turned off the comments on that post because it was getting out of hand.
What type of things are people saying?
I think they've cleansed it, but this is the only thing that turned the comments off on their page. So I'm assuming there was a lot of trolling. Maybe it got a bit hurtful. But I liked it. I thought it's a great initiative and it's a super catchy thing. People were saying it's better than the wheels on the bus go round and round. You may as well teach them. Yeah.
Is it better? I mean, I know what you're trying to say there. I don't think you should compare the two. I think it's still important for them.
No, I will compare the two. Go and Sikhi on top forever. Listen.
Fine.
I'm telling you, it sticks in your head. It is addictively good.
Jika, not Vaheguru Jiki.
I know, Karan. I'm just saying it really fast. Okay. What I respect is that she was saying it really fast. And then when it sped up, she couldn't keep pace because it's actually really difficult to say it all correctly.
It's hard. Yeah. It's a bit, unless you... So it's a common thing. So you can say Vaheguru, which is what it should be, but then it gets abbreviated to Vaheguru. Vaheguru. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa. Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So there are different ways of saying it. People will debate whether what's right or wrong. Yeah, from a parenting point of view, I do want, from the outcome as well, obviously I want her to be able to speak Punjabi, be in tune with the Sikhi, but also have a good command of the English language. I don't think there's anything wrong with the wheels on the bus go round and round. Yes. What it actually made me think about was when back in the day when I had a little keyboard and I was messing around on it, and I was learning stuff off YouTube. So I remember learning the Godfather tune.
Ooh.
Right? And so I played it, and then my dad was like, "Oh, you should do Vaheguru Simran on that tune." And I was like,
and upload it, and you'll get millions of views.
No. Well, I don't know if YouTube existed then. Well, maybe it did. I didn't know what it was. Dad definitely didn't know what it was. He was more like, when you go to Gurdwara, just do it. And then I was like, Dad, that's weird, man. I'm going to be there like, the main tune. Yeah. So, Vaheguru Ji.
Check you out, man.
Right. So then, but I'm like, Dad, that's weird because people are going to think about Godfather and then associating with the wrong thing. I overthought it massively. And then, I thought about it now when I saw that thing. I was like, yeah, you made a really good point. Actually, take something which people already know, that's catchy. You're basically just doing a cover. That's basically what it is, right? You're doing a cover to it. Yeah, that's all it is. And I was like, that's probably a good idea. And then
there are very few new ideas. Just take something and do it better. Iterate on it. That's it. Just iterate on it. Put your own twist on it. People appreciate it. They like it.
What episode number is this?
214.
Guys, that is probably one of the best bits of advice for any person, any point in their life. That iterations, that's all we're doing, right? Make something better, work on it, improve on it, tinker with it. Iteration. That's a very Chris Williamson thing you said there. Love it, mate. So yeah, I'm just trying to, because I haven't seen all the hate comments. I'm just trying to think about what the hate would be against.
Are you ready?
This one. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Come on, what's the hate, man?
Bro, no way. What? Isn't there a better way to do it? Okay.
Wow.
But, I mean, what is the other better way of doing it? Love the idea, but going off beat gave me anxiety. This isn't the original beat. It's edited to make it sound purposely bad. Oh, this is the trap based beat. Yeah, I found it. What I thought was really cool was this person saying the negativity in his comments is exactly why our community struggles to have anything good. Were you not taught to say if you have nothing to constructive to say, it's better to say nothing at all? If someone is making an effort to educate and uplift the next generation, why tear them down? If you think you can do better, go ahead and do it. As for the argument that kids aren't on Instagram, no, they aren't. But their parents are. And if they see something valuable, they'll pass it on. Damn. Shut down.
That's fair. I think the one that's most triggering to me as a creator, you're a creator as well.
Oh, yes. You're creative now. Yes.
Yeah, we're
creative wankers. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. If you want to do something, go and do it. But just to have this could be done better, but not do anything about it, that's just so lazy. That triggers me to no end.
See, I was talking to a friend of ours about this, and I said, have you seen it? He said, yeah, this is why I hate our community. I said, what do you mean? He said, our community is probably one of the most toxic out there, where we just pull people down all the time, regardless of trying something different or something new or something out there. They just get checked immediately. And there's obviously checking someone, but there's just dragging them down and making them feel like shit.
It depends, right? Like we just put the reel up about Amrit Maan breaking into Sky News. Lots of love. I don't see any hate on that.
Yeah, but the numbers aren't going to blow up as high as something like this would.
That's true.
And that's where when the numbers go high,
the chance of
people see it more.
Yeah. That's true. And then, fine. If his clip were to go viral, yeah, there definitely would be some people who be like, well, you didn't go to university, or Sky News is paid off by the government and it's all propaganda. Like there'll be somebody with some conspiracy. Murdoch. There'll be something that will be said.
Government.
Government, as I would say. Government. Yeah. Some people are I was thinking, now, here's a point for you, again, as a creator, Indy. We're creators, right? So we create content and we want people to engage with that content. So the engagement of the content is sharing, liking, commenting. So we want the comments.
Yeah, because we know it gets algorithmic traffic. That's why.
Right. Yeah. I'm talking, that's from a pure content perspective. We want comments. But at the same time, we're saying stuff like that. It's like, listen, if you've got nothing nice to say, then you shouldn't comment. But
no. Now I look at it like comments engagement. Now, over time, you just change your mindset. You're like, Jello, take all it. Engagement is good engagement. Now it's just all engagement is good engagement. That's basically it, unfortunately.
You know what's funny now, right? So
I'm so disconnected from it. If someone says something shit, I'm like, whatever, man. At the beginning, I was like, no, fuck you. Now it's Jello.
Well, to that point, that's what I was just about to say. There's two things now. Either there's a subset of our followers, Bal included, who will just come and fight the battle on our behalf, right? So that will happen. Or if you look at the thread about the clip about homosexuality in Punjabi communities, you've seen there's some people make some really odd statements,
zesty
right?
comments, yeah.
Right, that's
making
putting
me
it
think
lightly.
they're closet ones, but yeah.
So then you've seen me responding, right? So how so? How did that make you feel? Why do you feel this way? And there's these long threads. And there's one guy who's like, you must have seen it. You both need help or something, like you have mental illness.
I would have just commented saying, I think you should go and have a lie down now. Yeah.
Oh God.
You've been medically observed to go and have a lie down by the doctor.
Well, I asked someone, he'd said something. I said, so where did you get your medical degree? And then there was nothing. Just
because they said it was unnatural, yeah?
No, he's like, it's a mental illness. And I was like, all right, okay, is that your diagnosis, is it? Homosexuality equals mental illness. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
How charming. How charming. But yeah,
I did like the other version you put up there, that trap beat version.
I can try and get it up. Let me get it.
That was fire, man.
Bangs.
Bolo Vaiguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaiguru Ji ki Fateh. Bolo Vaiguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaiguru Ji ki Fateh. Bolo Vaiguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaiguru Ji ki Fateh. Done hath jod ke Vaiguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaiguru Ji ki Fateh. Vaiguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaiguru Ji ki Fateh.
But the idea, it reminds me of when we were younger, and you probably had that phase where you had the Immortal Production CD, the Kande on one side, the black
I didn't have
disc.
the Immortal Production CD. I missed out on this phase. I didn't get that.
Oh, but you've heard of it. You've seen the cover?
I think I've seen the cover of it. Oh, wait. Is this the Kanda and the AK on the other side?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the hoodie. I had the 84 hoodie.
Okay. The black and white one.
Bro, I used to wear it every single non-uniform day. I'd be like, yeah, rapping.
Look at you.
Every night, I was like, yeah, repping. No one ever asked me anything about it. I was like, yeah, whatever.
No, he was ready. Indy was ready.
No one asked me anything. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh,
okay.
So then Indy thought, I'll wear it again because the next time
they'll ask me next time, why are you wearing this every night uniform day? Well, come sit down and wait for the lecture.
But yeah, the tunes on there with the beats, man, everyone was just like, yo, this is badass, man. You got Taddi style, what's it called? Jago dropping, beats, and you got this. It's just, the mix is amazing. That's what it reminded me of. But initiative, yes, there was somebody who I thought was nice, constructive feedback, which is about smiling a bit more.
Yeah,
just they did say looking a bit more natural.
Get more into it.
Yeah, just look a bit more natural. But that comes with practice, right? That's just
it's probably their first or second iteration of like doing something like this.
Yeah. So fair play. Niane.
Keep going. Keep doing your thing. Don't let other people talk shit. If they do, don't block the comments. Just let it be. It's fine. People will fight it out on their own. Keep doing what you need to do. At the end of the day, if Niane watching and it leaves an impact, that's not measurable. You won't know that for many years.
The ROI is very long. Yeah. Stuff.
See?
Stuff, man. That's why parenting is such a tough gig. Oh, I'm like, did I do a good job? You'll find out in 30 years.
Well, speaking of parenting,
dun dun dun.
Let's go into the next clip.
What strange parenting technique did you experience that you didn't realize was unusual until much later? Growing up, my parents had a unique approach to settling sibling disputes that I assumed was universal until college roommate conversations proved otherwise. Whenever my sister and I fought over something, a toy, TV choice, front seat privileges, my parents would immediately implement what they called the auction. They'd take whatever we were fighting about and announce, bidding starts at 10 minutes. This meant we had to bid chore time to win the disputed item. My sister might open with 15 minutes of dishes, which I'd counter with 20 minutes of yard work. The bidding continued until one of us dropped out, unwilling to commit more chore time. The winner got the coveted item, the loser did nothing, but the winner had to complete their bid in chore time before enjoying their prize. The genius part, if our parents suspected we were fighting just to get attention, they'd add auction minimums, starting bids of 30 plus minutes that made us quickly decide if the argument was actually worth it. By age 10, my sister and I had developed complex economic analyses of whether conflicts were worth the chore cost. We'd negotiate privately before even involving our parents because we understood the true price of disagreement. In college, I mentioned the auction to my roommates during a dispute over parking spaces. They stared at me like I'd suggested we solve it through ritual combat. That's when I realized most families don't run their homes like microeconomic systems teaching cost-benefit analysis. As an adult, I recognize how brilliant it was. My parents never had to determine who was right. They simply created a system where we assigned our own value to our desires and paid accordingly. My sister and I rarely fight as adults. Everything seems negotiable after growing up with the auction.
How cool is that?
Genius. Loved it. And Shindy and I have a parenting WhatsApp group. So we went straight into there. Like, Shindy, we're implementing this. The last bit of the sentence that she said, everything is negotiable, is probably one of the best life skills. That thing you said earlier about iteration is very important. And I'll say to the young people listening on here, everything is negotiable, right? Pretty much. If you ask the right question to the right person, to a position in power, a decision maker, we call it, what's not possible, man? Rules are just made by other people. That's it. Not the law. I'm not talking about law here. Even the law is bendable at certain levels of power. But let's talk about rules. Everything's negotiable. And I love that. And actually reminded me of something my dad used to do, which I will implement with my kids, which is he would say, make me an offer. And then just stop.
See, make me an offer is good. I like that. But this is to settle two siblings disputing with each other, which happens often.
So how was, tell me about, did you have much?
No, I didn't have this because the age gap with me and my siblings was so big that they were like second parents to me.
Fine. So would they then, and then you'd watch?
No, they were just allowed to fight each other. Bro, there were some pictures of my brother and sister. Shit you not. One of them, my sister had a mark on her head and I thought it was a mark on the picture. She's like, no, that was because me and your brother had like a fight a couple of days before and he scratched me on my head proper hard. My brother has a scar on the side of his face because my sister slammed the door in his face because he wouldn't get in the house in time. Had blood squirting out the side of his eye.
So it sounds like in the Kera household, what was said was, so they said auction starts in 10 minutes, the Gurindervir Kera family. Helen the cell phone, you got 10 minutes to prepare. Right? So your dad closes all the doors, the shutters come down, the music comes on, entrances coming, and that's it. Young Indy's there seeing his popcorn.
Yeah, straight up. No,
shit,
it was
man. Just fight
it was brutal with those two. They physically fought a lot. So I don't want that for all kids. This negotiation shit is a good life skill. What I thought was crazy was the phrase complex economics cost benefit analysis.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. Okay, so if you're fighting over something petty and you're in a petty mood and you amp up the other person to do all these chores, you're like, actually, no, I'm good. and they've overegged themselves in a moment of high emotion. How manipulative is that? It could get really dark.
That's a skill as well, though. I'm not going to say
that.
I'm not going to say manipulation skill, but we've talked about this often about NLP and the power of persuasion. I'll call it persuasion. I think the dark end of persuasion is manipulation, but persuasion has its place, right? It's a very useful skill when you're buying and selling things, or if you want to navigate having fights. It's also in relationships. There's what else was another thing she said in there, which is right. Yeah, this is it. Basically, what the parents did, the genius bit was. See, value is a subjective thing. We know that, right? Which is why you might pay £500 you might pay £5,000 for something that was signed by Kobe that I'd be like, meh. To you, it's valuable. To me, it's not valuable. So value is subjective. So they're creating that thing where actually there's no cost. There's no real cost of value here, but you guys decide. You guys set the value. I thought that was genius.
Yeah.
That's a good life skill. Learning what is perceived value.
I don't know if the parents deeped it this hard though. I think they just thought, they'll figure it out, not knowing it would lead to this level of depth of conversation and thought. The minimum bids thing is genius because they're like, okay, this is getting petty. Minimum bid is half an hour's worth of God, the survive. Yeah.
So they've done what we call a sidebar in poker there. Have you seen that? They said, so if it doesn't go to auction phase, we'd have a private negotiation, basically deciding, should we take this to auction or should we sell it? It's like, when you go to the judge and you say sidebar, you're just like, no. I don't want this to go any further.
See, I thought the sidebar shit was like fictional in TV shows.
No, I think it's real. So, and in poker, it's a different thing where say you're out of money, but I want to keep, you've got money, but you can't really, I want to put a lot more in and you've got nothing more to add. Then I might go to the other guy and be like, let's just have a private little bet here and just leave this waste man on the side of it.
So what's the private bet there? How would that work?
In what sense? In the poker?
So let's say I'm running out of money or I'm not in because I said fold.
Yeah. So we'll say, do you want to continue? And then we just leave you out of the thing. And you have to
but if I'm G'ing you up and I'm like, I think he's got it, exactly. We'll spot me more. Can I spot you more? Is that possible?
You could. Yeah, I could lend you the money. We're delving into kind of off-board deals now, Indy, like when we do Monopoly.
I didn't know that was a thing in poker, but okay.
Yeah. But the parents, minimum is really good. There's quite a few things actually when it comes to parenting. Like I read recently about don't give your kids allowance, money allowance.
Yeah, you got to earn it.
Teach because exactly. There's no exchange of value there. That's just I haven't done anything. I'm getting better anyway. But then have a tiered system to the chores. So certain things are more valuable. So if you do this task, it'll be perceived as more, and then this task or whatever. Then they talk about community gigs. I don't think that's as popular now. But like they'll be like, oh, I'm going to cut the random person's grass or whatever, go and help that bunda. Like that stuff doesn't really happen in communities anymore. But
so let's say that way you're trying to get people to do more physical labor because you'll pay more for that. Whereas if it's tidying up, you'll get something minimal. That's a better way of tiering it to give them incentive to want to go and do more harder things. If you just say it's the same thing for everything, they're not going to have like a want for it.
True. But again, the next level to that is you're trying to teach them eventually because they're going to do some form of work, right? So are you going to do laborious work or are you going to do work where you effectively problem solve and creatively think? Now, we know in the information age, the age we're in, generally speaking, I'm not going to say for everybody, but obviously tradespeople make a lot of money, but generally speaking, you're paid more if you think more and solve bigger problems.
True.
So if you could build that into the chores, like, look, you could do this, you can cut the grass, let's call that labor. Or I don't know what the creative task here is, thinking problem solving task is, or you could do that. And I'm going to give you more money for that. So then they start to value, okay.
All right, I'd say, you have to compile the shopping list. You have to sit down, cost it all out, and you have to give me the exact number it's going to be and where you're going to get it from. If you don't get that number within an X amount of percentage right on the day, then you're not getting any money for it. But if you do, you will.
I love how you use that example because I know you do that. And
I would do that.
No, you do that, don't you? Because you go to your
I know exactly where everything is cheapest. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, your child is going to be something, man.
Enigma. I'm telling you.
Yeah, man.
Or if you say to them,
Mini Indy.
do Bande. If you do Bande on the weekdays, it's worth more than doing it on the weekend.
If you do
on the weekend, you're vella. If you do it in the weekday where you're time stressed, you get a bit more for it.
Okay, I can see your logic there. I love I love the Punjabi English of do Pande, which means wash the dishes, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is.
But we know that translation is like do Pande, wash the dishes. Do Pande, including big patila, okay?
Yeah, you can't be leaving that big patila there for mum to do afterwards.
Right, I checked with mum, man. Patili is a small patila. It's a real thing.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Patili.
There is no patili. It is just big patila, little patila. That's it.
It's patila and patili.
No, it's not. It's not. Stop it. Stop introducing fake words to me that therefore I'm going to go and say in the world in the middle of Punjab. And they're like, huh?
In the middle of Punjab, bro. When you go middle of Punjab, man? You ain't going to Punjab.
Why not?
You're going to go to the Gurdwaras. You're going to be doing the seva.
Patili kitte hai bhai?
Baba ji, patili kitte? I'm like, putte, tu theek hai? What about growing up with you? Did you have any chores, incentives? Like, what was?
No, hardly any. Because it was either work in the shop, help mum and dad in summer times. So that was kind of set. Occasionally, I washed my brother's car, but I didn't get any enjoyment out of it. He paid me like £5-10. Sometimes I did it, like I took the payment and didn't do it for months. And he was like, "Oh, you dickhead!"
Sorry, he paid you up front.
Yeah.
Why do you pay up front? I mean, that's
I can't remember. And then eventually I did it when it was like stone cold and my hands were stinging afterwards, and he was feeling bad. And I was like, "Yeah, I should have done this on a time period where it was warmer or warm gloves or something." Nope, didn't do that.
No, not allowed. I guess with the shop, obviously the post office or whatever, that's family business, isn't it? So you feel, if you don't do it, you feel like,
and the pharmacy and the off license.
Okay, so I mean, you've done your sale, haven't you? None of those are paid positions, or? No. Full silver.
In fairness, one summer, I said to my mum and dad at the start of the summer, I need a laptop, like just my own laptop. Mum and dad said, "All right, fine, you've worked for us the whole summer, we'll give you a laptop." So I was like, "All right, fine."
Good exchange.
So did it all the whole summer. Right. And then I got the laptop in like November when my mum went to Singapore to go and buy it and came back and gave it to us. I was cheers.
It's like a discount in Singapore. Yeah. Okay. Did you get, was it Apple? Is that what you wanted?
It was a Mac. Yeah, my first ever Mac.
Oh, good lad. So you could have done all that work and then ended up with some like shitty.
I thought I wasn't going to get anything, but then I got that. I was like, yes, get in.
You got like a Nokia 3210 at the end.
Worth it.
It to see you can do your work.
Worth it. Then that laptop died 4 years later. Yeah. And I remember it was summertime and I was working for my sister at the opticians. Everything I saved in that time at the opticians, I then bought a new MacBook with because I needed it. Because my old one had died completely. The motherboard had gone.
Right.
So that was my whole summer's worth of work. 3 months, just bam, get that done.
1 second.
Yes.
Circa cost for a MacBook?
I was on minimum wage, Karen.
Yeah, but let's just work this out. Well, how much are you earning per month? What was the cost of MacBook? 1,500?
Grand, no, 2 grand? About $2,000, I think.
$2,000. Okay, Tika. And you earning how much per month?
Like £8 an hour.
£8 an hour. Like full, like every day, Monday, Friday.
I think I did 5 days a week, yeah.
Shit, man, that's...
Minimum wage life sucks, man.
3 months around $2,000.
Roughly about that. I think I had a bit spare. But I also got taxed on it and then I had to claim that back.
How were you paid?
PAYE.
Oh, you set up as a proper employee?
Yeah, I was set up as a proper employee because I have a national insurance number.
Oh, okay, I thought they would just paid you and you would have done your self-tax return. That would have been easier, no?
You really think that I was going to do that at the ripe age of 19?
You would do it, but your family have accountants. They'd be like, Allah. No? Okay.
I remember I got taxed.
You would have been paid in cash.
I remember I got taxed, yeah. And then I said to my mum, "Why have I been taxed?" And she said, "Your sister's done something wrong here. You shouldn't have been taxed. You should have set that up in the right way." So I said to my sister, "Can you sort it out?" And she said, "Oh, I don't know. I've passed it on to X person to sort it out." Yeah. I told mum. Mum called her. It was sorted within the day. And then I got the tax rebate 2 days later. Now, it might be a coincidence, but in my head, I knew that some words were had, okay? I knew words were had. Your
mum rang your sister and said, listen, you have scammed your brother, right? Inni mehnat kiti, 3 mahine da kaam kita, roti pani nahi mili.
1 hour's commute to Worcester, because that's where she used to own the
in the middle of nowhere. He's losing weight. He's losing hair. He hasn't got a girlfriend. And on top of that, emergency tax apata. Huh?
I did have a girlfriend at the time, but yeah.
He doesn't see his girlfriend. They put emergency tax apata. Yeah, because did you have any other source of income at that point?
No, it was the end of uni in between first and second year.
You had no other jobs, right? No other income?
No, nothing.
Yeah, so you would have been tax-free up to 12,500 whatever it was. That was the point. Yeah.
So I was like,
what the fuck? Like, who am I paying tax to?
What am I paying for here? What happens to that
this
free
is
person?
a shit country, man.
At that point, it was 10 grand, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Shit, man. Because if that was all of your money and you had money to spare, that means, Bachala, you got taxed on like $2,000. Like, oh my God. I feel sorry for you, man.
Yeah, man. It wasn't
I'm so
fun.
happy you got your rebate, man. Otherwise, you would have been like, you'd been so disillusioned about work. You're like, what is even the point? Oh, kaam karo, sadda 50% tax maar deyan. Reh gaya ki?
Yeah. It was tough. It was a tough feeling.
Stuff. Parenting. Yeah.
Right, that's that. Next thing. The Singh who has broken the Indian world record for the 100 meters.
From Jalandhar.
Have you seen
Amazing,
his name?
man. I can't remember his name.
Gurindervir. That's his name.
Thank you.
Yes! Gurindervir Singh. That's what I'm saying, brother.
Yeah.
Got my name. In
Rated,
his name.
man. Oh, that's the connection you're making because Veer.
Yes.
That's it.
No, Gurindervir.
Oh, Indervir. Oh, okay. Fine.
Lelo. Okay. Go on. Oh, because it's got
okay.
Veer in your name. Yeah, listen. Get off your high horse, dickhead. Yeah. Full name. Except he's spelled IR, but full name. Okay.
Oh my God. Oh, guys, if I actually haven't spoken to Indy in a while, so this is really fun today.
I can see it in your eyes. You're loving it.
It's so fun today.
You're loving it.
Hanji, so Gur Indervir, hyphen, right? Prefix. Gur Indervir.
Full name.
Right. So how would you do if you lined up against him? Do you think you would compete with him? Or?
Listen, 16 seconds flat, I reckon.
Okay, fine. Yeah. At first I was like, bro, he did fast and sick. You're saying you would be 16 seconds.
Yeah, straight up.
I'm thinking, have I ever seen you run? Have I ever seen
you know what?
run? I don't think I've seen you run.
I saw a reel about this, yeah. It was something like, I've been with my boyfriend for X amount of years and I've never seen him run and he's never seen me run.
Right.
So
they thought,
they
let's have a race.
showed each other how they ran. The guy fucking bolted off and she's there like trying to get away and nothing's really happening. It's true. I don't run anymore because of my bad knee and bad back, but it is what it is.
So, sorry, would you be prepared if we had a little race?
I could do it. I just might have to really stretch really well.
Would you have a race with me?
Sure.
Yeah? All right.
Sure.
When we're together, we will do that. I think that'll be interesting. I'm also interested, because I know I'm pretty quick. I don't know about you because I can't imagine you running.
I'm not that athletic, bro, so probably not.
I've got to feel there's two things. One is when, I think about Phoebe and Rachel in the park in that episode when Phoebe has that weird run. I feel like, does Indy have like some sort of weird, like...
I haven't got a weird run.
Contorted like kind of run.
I haven't run in years. I barely jog.
Then I was trying to think of, have I ever played sports with you? I have played badminton with you, yeah. Obviously, you weren't very good, so you didn't really move that much. So I
wasn't
really
that great. Yeah.
So I can't. And I think we played tennis the same day, but again, I don't think you were moving much.
No.
This is all we went to David Lloyd's. Yeah. Okay. I need to see you. Have your barefoots. Have like everything you need, and let's go.
No, forget that. I'm wearing barefoots for that. I'm wearing real trainers for that.
Oh shit! Shots fired.
Red Kobe's are coming out, bro.
Ranch. See, he's disowned his barefoots now. There we go.
Red Kobe's, bro. Let's go.
Red Kobe's. Okay.
It's true.
He's quick. Good Indervir, the real Indervir.
Bro, he smashed it. I love how his Guti's at the top. Guti's at the top.
As opposed to...
Is that aerodynamic help?
Yeah.
Come on, help me out, bro.
Well, if you're leaning forward...
If your head's forward like that, jolting like into it, come on. Then that must be giving you some aerodynamic resistance additional.
As opposed to the drawers at the back, you mean?
Yeah, and I was thinking, okay, so if it's that, then why don't you have a Pathka really tight so it has the sharpness, and then you get you're basically building a wing on the top of your ball, isn't it? As if you're a Guti F1. No?
Okay. I hope this gets made into a reel, and all the police, all the Instagram police of every Dakar.
I'm trying to understand why he doesn't wear a paag, okay? Because people are going to be saying, why don't you wear a paag?
No, they all get together and they
there is aerodynamic reasons for this. I am positive of it.
Please,
why you're doing this. Because Milka Singh did the same thing.
Well, I was going to talk about Milka Singh in a second. Yeah, he did. It's
not a coincidence.
Can I ask?
This is by choice.
Indy, you love F1. Of the F1 teams, who do you support? Who's your main affiliation?
You don't really. You just stick with drivers.
Who do you like? Who's the driver you like? Come on, just tell me.
Hamilton, Sainz, Albon.
Right, Sainz is with Williams now.
Williams, yeah.
Right.
Albon's also with Williams, but I don't like Williams. I'm just like, whatever.
Okay. You don't like the principal? Is that the...
No, I just think they're a bit of a shit team. Like they're always like, we did well years ago and now we're shit.
Yeah. But
that's literally their legacy.
Oh,
we did well years ago and now we're shit.
And trying to get better. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
I think you take this proposal about aerodynamics to your favorite team and you just tell them about the wing theory and the aerodynamics and the...
It's true, man.
Look, Hamilton, I'm
telling you, bro.
Look, if I see Hamilton...
If we do that sprint, me and you together, one-on-one, Jura at the front. Let's go.
Okay. Right. All right.
You might not have much Jura there to do it, but I will do mine. Okay.
Wow. Okay, listen. These shots you've been firing recently, yeah? In many groups about my hairline. You need to keep it in your pants. Right. Second girl. To make it even more fun, because I know when you grew up, you had a Ramal, didn't you, as well? Chitti Ramal.
I did.
Right. We will both have Chitti and Ramal.
No. I had a black one. I never had the white one.
I have the white one. You have a black one. Let's do it. Your Jura will be bigger than mine, which will actually not be in your favor. Okay, because it's going to weigh you down.
It's too much weight. Actually,
it's going to weigh you down.
You have to kind of balance it up. You know, if me and you go to a sprint against each other, it's difficult.
Yeah, but Milkha Singh, he also had that look, didn't he?
So come on, man, reason with me here. I'm not being silly.
I don't know as the answer. Yeah, why would you not wear a paag? Is it to do speed? Is it to do with weight? Is it to do with like? Well, I mean, if you tie a certain type of the start, it's not going to fall off. Like at the Mala.
I think it's weight, man.
It's got to be weight then, yeah. Because then, because they're not in a Pathka either.
Because you're carrying additional weight.
Paag.
Pathka, I feel like is the middle. That's a good, perfect middle.
Yeah, and people, obviously a lot of Indian athletes wear Pathka, like Harbhajan Singh cricketers. So it's not like it's not uncommon.
See, Harbhajan Singh, he wore Pathka. He didn't have a Guti. Why didn't he have a Guti?
He did have a Guti. You're looking at
whenever he would bowl, he would wear Pathka on top of the Guti. So he would do the tie round and then pull down.
I'm confused. What are you saying? He wears a Pathka like me, yeah?
No, sorry. I'm talking about a Jura. I'm saying the wrong word.
Yeah. Harbhajan
this
Jura
guy,
here.
Gurindervir and Milkha Singh have a Jura in a small Ramal here.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Okay. Harbhajan Singh, the cricket bowler, he didn't have that. He had
Jura.
A Guti, Jura, and then he tied Pathka on top of it.
Yeah, no Pathka. How else do you tie Pathka?
Yeah, but I wouldn't call that. What? I wouldn't call that a Jura. I'd say you're wearing a Pathka.
Oh, okay. Yeah, again, we're...
Do you understand the point I'm saying here?
Yeah, but your association is incorrect here. A Jura is the physical hair in a ball.
Yeah.
Got nothing to do with Ramals on there or Pathkas on there.
Okay.
Pathka and Ramal are coverings of the Jura.
Okay, fine.
Jura simply means, if I say, Mummy mera Jura kar do, that means...
Okay, fine. I was using my word.
Yeah, tie my hair.
So it's not Jura, it's not Guti, it's...
Guti is the same. Guti, Jura. I didn't grow up
Guti is the same, right?
Yeah, Guti and Jura are synonymous. They're the three equal lines.
Yeah.
Ball of hair.
And it's covered by a Ramal or a Pathka. There you go.
Or a paag of the start. Yes.
Done.
Harbhajan Singh wore a Pathka.
Yes, he did wear a Pathka, yes.
Yeah. And the Jura
what I'm asking is, why don't you just wear a little Ramal?
Harbhajan Singh?
Yes.
No, but again, so cricketers don't tend to. It's not been that many. But if you look at the hockey players, hockey's interesting actually. Hockey, Judeale, you get some who wear the Ramal and some who have Pathka. So so clearly, and in hockey, there's no air resistance, whatever. That's clearly got to do with preference. Like you've grown up, you might like the feel of a Pathka. Some might feel it's a bit constrained. Actually, this is an honest question for me because you grew up with the Ramal. I don't understand how the Ramal evolved. We're going on a tangent here, but it's like, so the idea is to cover your case, right? So Pathka covers all of it. The start of paag covers all of it.
Yes.
Ramal is like, you got the smallest bit of kapra. It's like, well, we're just going to cover the Jura and then the rest of the
I don't know. I'll ask Mum a minute. Like, why did she tie that on me? Because I know some parents now the better question.
But where did it come from? Like, is that an India thing or like, go on.
That is a fair question. I'll ask them. But I know parents now that have a kid and they just put them in a Pathka early. Very early. So
you mean to normalize it?
I don't know. Just maybe it's easier to keep the hair in. Because the frizziness of my hair when it was open in Ramal, ball everywhere. This guy, when he's running, sprinting, his ball is up, nothing's out, straight, chilling, no issues.
Because he's not in the weed, he's good in the weed.
Yeah, but how is he doing it? What technique is he doing to keep the ball so intact?
When you go Super Saiyan, what happens to your case? Tell me, Singh.
Oh, man. Are you telling me he's activated the levels?
Bro, when
The
Goku's
levels
like
of this man. Goku.
yeah, right. So when you're Goku, in your basic state, you're bala like this, yeah?
Mm.
And then he goes Super Saiyan ki ho janda?
Kachike.
Right? That's what happens, man. He turns it on, and then he just
His
goes.
ball is smooth though. I saw it. I thought, ooh, that is very impressive.
He's got a
Nice
he's got a good set of hair.
Very good set of hair.
The article you sent, I found very interesting.
Yeah, so let's dig into the article. So let's actually get a bit serious now. So this guy was living in London in a hostel, having really shit access to pani. He would buy bottled water. He was eating food from a dabba that was down the road. That was basically
dabba,
sorry, down the road. That was just serving dal.
No, but it sounded like what the thing that written in there was like something curry or whatever. But it sounded like they found the most unhealthy.
I got it here.
Given
wait.
Like in Uklau.
Trying to find it here. Carry on.
It was the point that was made in the article about how he had no access to a nutritionist. He had some dodgy masseur or masseuse, whatever.
Food was a roti curry from a nearby dabba.
Yeah. It just sounds like the most pure-filled thing, like not thinking about macros or protein or recovery or... You know, the thing with India, right? When they look at every time the Olympics comes and they're like, Indian population, 1.2 billion, whatever it is, right? Next to the other big powerhouse in terms of population, you got China, America. They bring loads of medals. Why don't India bring medals? Because focus in India is on what?
It's spread into cricket.
Cricket, right? Cricket is religion. Then hockey.
Cricket is religion.
Yeah, no, that's not me saying it, bro. That's like a standard thing.
Cricket is religion.
Yeah, no, people will like Matha take to Sachin Tendulkar. They have like FSCs and things built in. Like cricket is like religion. Like people, it will ruin people's days. Like the IPL is on at the moment, right? And the IPL is like 2.5 months long. Somebody, the cricket show I watched this debate, and somebody commented for a minute. He goes, "My life's really sad, but when IPL comes on, I know my evenings are sorted for the next like 2.5 months." And he's just like in this constant state of like he's just. I don't know, whatever. It might, like, imagine you watching Lakers, like, I don't know, that's probably too much, but every day for 2.5 months or NBA. But yeah, so there's so much focus on that. So that the other athletics, nutrition, coaches, facilities, where is it? Where's the investment? And the thing is, Olympics happens every 4 years, but like, say we come back to a Bhangra example, the gains are made in the off season, man, any sport. You're making the set, you're getting into shape, you're going to the gym, you're working on your fitness, like all that happens. Then you start training for Bhangra.com. And then you deliver, right? Now, most teams don't do that, right? By the way, most teams just start when they get selected for the team and then they just whatever. That's most teams. But if you're a championship team, UOB, we used to have this approach. That was a kind of like off season is not off season. You want to be in team next year, you got to train hard. And you got to do this, and this. I think Imperial had the same mindset as well. So yeah, Bachara, he's sitting in London with zero access, but killing it. So that tells you how talented the guy is.
He was doing well. And they were trying to tell him, you need to do the 400 meters. And he was like, nah, I'm sticking to the 100 meters. Because they said there's no real merit in this. You're not going to get anywhere. And he kept going for it. Had a stomach illness. Overcame the stomach illness. And by the way, all these people out there talking about, homeopathic doctors are the way forward. Afar, okay? Look at what this poor bunda had to fucking go through. Let me just find this exact thing. Here we go. He had to go and find a solution himself, Googling doctors, searching for the correct diagnosis. After doctors practicing...
Ayurveda.
I
think Ayurvedic, yeah.
Yeah, Ayurveda, homeopathy, allopathy. I was like, is that just potatoes being rubbed into you? Anyway, they all gave him the wrong answers, yeah? They all gave him the wrong answers. It took his coach. His coach's name is Happy Singh. This is a film, man. This is actually a film, right? Happy Singh reached out to a doctor friend and they identified what was wrong and corrected it. So a real doctor came along and said, what fucking bakwas are you doing? Stop rubbing the aloo on you and now you're fine.
When you said aloo, it made me think about, in the 1600s, people used to get leeches and be like, bamari, leech khala de.
Yeah, just suck it on, it's fine.
Yeah. Like India's, aloo leke aa, just aloo male.
Yeah, just rub a malish it, it'll be fine. Apparently he got badly injured for a tournament because somebody who was a non-trained masseuse injured his hamstring during a massage. And I thought, what the fuck, man? This guy's been through it, absolutely through it. Oh God. Seng, I feel for you, man, honestly. I absolutely feel for you.
Despite that, killing it. And like you say, he talks about how he's the most senior member there, so there wasn't access to fine. So we've talked about access in terms of facilities, nutrition, but actually knowledge, right? Knowledge exchange.
Yeah.
And then he gets picked up by Reliance, and it's like a whole new world. Now it's
Who is this company, Reliance? Who are they?
Ambani family, man.
Is it? They actually run what, like a athletic facility?
No, it's just Reliance is the sponsor. It's just part of the brand. Like, he's invested in everything, man. They're obviously heavily invested in IPL. The 100 in England is being sold off to Indian investors as well.
The 100? What do you mean the 100?
The 100 is a cricket competition. Like, England's got a T20 version called the Blast, and then there's another competition called the 100 balls, basically.
Right, okay.
They're trying to like compete with the IPL. It's obviously not as big, and no one gets paid as much. But now a lot of money's coming in, and now the Saudis are trying to get into cricket as well. They're talking about a league in Saudi.
Yeah, shock. Best sports watching. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But the athletes love it because they get paid. So,
bro, this guy had it so bad because he was losing 12 kilos in the space of 8 to 10 days. That's extreme, bro.
That's hospitalization level of weight loss.
So he was smashing it, becomes ill for 2 years, comes back, does even better, clocks a fucking Indian world record, national record, beats it, and now he's like, now what? I'm still going for it. I'm going to try and do more.
Yeah, now obviously.
What a guy.
He's got to think about Olympics now. He's got the right people around him.
Yes.
Proper nutrition, proper
what I love
masala.
is he said this at the end. Until someone does it, no one will believe that it can be done. Before Neeraj Chopra Bhai, people used to say javelin is not for Indians. Now everyone's doing it. Neeraj threw, and now there's so many quality throwers. So now one guy has to run. If I do 10-10 or 10 flat, I won't be the only one running fast. There'll be 10 others cracking the 10-20 mark.
Yep.
He wants to be the example. Smashed it.
It's a classic Roger Bannister. You've heard that. You must have heard that everywhere.
No, go on, tell me.
So in all these like self-help books, and the most famous one being Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, Roger Bannister, the 4-minute mile. Before he did it, nobody'd run the 4-minute mile. Roger Bannister did it, and then now you have school kids who.
And after he did it, everybody else has been able to take it further.
Yeah, exactly. Once you can see it's possible, you'll do it. And then there are super athletes. I think Michael Jordan may be the example for this. I think it's when Tony Robbins was interviewing Jordan, and he said this idea about, no, sorry, it wasn't Jordan, Arnold Schwarzenegger. He goes, I used to love it when people said something hasn't been done, because then when I do it, I'll be the first one to have done it. And that's what drove him to break certain records and things.
Hashtag motivation, hashtag grind set, hashtag elite mentality. Yeah.
Hashtag no excuses.
Hashtag bro podcast. Anyway.
No excuses. All right.
Hashtag take no days off. Yeah, all that stuff. Work until you die. Anyway.
Yeah, so, it's all bullshit.
Smashed out to Gurindervir. We're all proud of you, Singh. And we hope you go far.
Did you change his name to Gurindervir there?
It's Gurindervir.
Is it Gurindervir or Gurindervir?
Gurindervir. Gurindervir.
See, it sounds like there's a difference there. You can say that Gurinder, I'm saying English way, or Gurinder.
Gurindervir. I'm being biased because it's got my name in it. I want to say how it kind of echoes my own name. Let's not be...
Your name is Jagjit.
Let's not lie here.
Your name is Jagjit.
Projecting.
You're Jagjit.
I am projecting, and that is very okay that I'm projecting.
All right, Jaggi.
Can we just go through his weekly routine? Fucking elite stuff. Let's find a way to hang on.
Elite stuff.
Elite stuff. Right, here we go. A week in the life of India's fastest man. Monday, proper. I don't know what that means. Heavy weight training, 3 to 4 hours. Evening, track work. Tuesday, morning, upper body training. Evening, speed training on the track. Wednesday, morning, single leg workouts. Evening, track work. Thursday, morning, upper training. Evening, speed endurance on track. Friday, morning, heavy again weight training. Evening, track work. Saturday is the toughest endurance training on track. Fucking hell. That doesn't sound enjoyable.
It makes me think about the quote that, what's his face, said Usain Bolt says. He said something like, I trained 4 years for these like 9 seconds. And he goes, no one sees any of that work. And it's just that.
Yeah.
But the compounding you have to do, like to do that consistently and probably get injured as well, rehab those injuries and just build that incremental until it's time to.
All that for like a couple of tenths of a second.
Yeah.
And so he ran like 10:30 and then he got it down to 10:20 and that took him 4 years with illness, etc. That's insane. Like to chip away at things that much. You're
because at the world level,
milliseconds of a millisecond.
At the elite world level, the best of the best. I think I read this about Phelps. Now, Phelps is dominant, right? Like the most dominant, the most decorated Olympian ever. But if you look at how much better he was compared to people when he kept winning, like the margin, it's not massive, but it can't be at that level because everyone is great. And it's small, like it's really small. Well, it looks small, but obviously it's, at that level, it's not small. And it's like you're saying, it's just, but that's where the difference is made. The difference between the gold and the, like, just nobody in it.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy stuff.
Respect. Maybe we see him in the next Olympics. Man. Hopefully we see him in the next Olympics.
We hope we see him in the Olympics.
You have the banner. My name, your name.
Why?
Because you are Gurindervir.
No, it's all right. Don't worry. I don't need to do that. I'm happy knowing that he has my name. That's it.
You turn up with your jura.
He's younger than me, I think, so he has my name.
All right, mate. You turn up with your jura at the front. Chitti Ramal, black Ramal, whatever you want. Half black, half white.
We could be jura buddies.
And you can tell Reliance about the aerodynamic resistance and the wing and their Formula One theory. You tell them, Indy. I'll set up with the bunnies.
What I said was not BRB there. I am positive of it. There is definitely some thought behind it.
There's no BRB, but my point was, I want all the internet police to come to you and be like, who is this guy? Who is this guy?
Nothing wrong. The guy who has a Guti himself, okay? Thank you. Thank you. That's who I am. All right. Let me just flex it one time for you there. There you go. At the back. There. There you go. All right.
Sanj, yeah,
so I can say it. I'm playing my Guti card now. All right. Playing my Jura card now. I'm playing my I've kept my guest card now. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Somebody's a bit triggered. Wow.
It's a good point. I'm allowed to say it. Thank you.
You can say whatever you like. This is your platform.
I can.
Yeah.
I can. Indeed.
Okay.
Right, Gordon, you wanted to talk about that lovely show that we were going to talk about 2 weeks ago, but took a week off and therefore we couldn't talk about it. Do you want to introduce it?
Yeah, so we're talking about the show that's taking the storm on Netflix. Stephen Graham has done a stellar performance and it is Adolescence. So, how should we tackle this? How should we start this?
Did you watch it all in one go?
Watched it, no, not all in one go, two and half. But pretty like 2 days in between.
Me and track through it in one night, Friday night. It's like watching it at 9 p.m, finish at 1 a.m.
Yeah, fair.
That was a sobering finish time.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Especially how the last episode ended.
Spoiler alert.
All right, what I'm going to ask you then is, were you and Sanj analysing throughout or did you have a discussion at the end?
Discussion at the end.
Right. You may have not had this question, but I want you to think about what the response would have been. When you asked Sanj, what was your biggest take? What do you think the central core theme to the show was? Did she say? What would she have said?
I can't remember what she said.
Right. What was your key takeaway? What's core theme?
That the internet can be dangerous for kids if not monitored or looked after.
Yes. And that's actually what I genuinely...
That is basically it.
My similar thought to it is basically, look, being a teenager, hard... You're trying to navigate. You don't know who you are. Identity crisis. Like this is what I thought the show was mainly about. And that secondary thing about how tough it is to be a parent, like that bit where he's away and the mum and dad are on the bed and they're kind of trying to analyze.
Talking about them crying. Yeah.
They're crying, but like it was so, if you listen to actual words, it was because they were like, were we bad parents? And then they looked at it and they were like, he showed interest in this. So we got him the computer and all the tech. But then he wasn't interested. Then he was interested in drawing, but then he didn't like the drawing. Then I tried him with football, but he wasn't very good at football. So to me, I was like, it didn't sound like a parent or a dad because he was thinking he was a bad dad, that he was forcing his son into manly type things like football or whatever. It sounds like he just tried loads of different things and saw what he liked and then kind of tried to do more of that. And I was like, yeah, that's parenting. Like there literally is no blueprint. So I thought that was the second thing. One was how hard it is to be a teenager, navigation. Who am I? What do I believe? What do I stand for? What are my values? All of that, right? Peer pressure. Where do I fit into society? But then I speak to some people and the number one thing they say is, this show is about toxic masculinity and how dangerous it is.
It is a little bit about it.
No, it is there.
But they didn't, I don't think they tackled it in the right way. They said a few hacky things, which is, that Andrew Tate shit. And they said the 80%, 20% thing, right? That's the only thing they said about toxic masculinity. They didn't tackle the real core issues behind it. They just mentioned it in passing because that's how it's seen. It's just mentioned in passing. They don't see how deep the problem goes. And people asked the producer about this saying, why didn't you tackle it? He said, because that wasn't the purpose of the show. And he's also trying to demonstrate how blasé people are towards toxic masculinity.
That's true.
And he did that in the show. So I thought, well, you've done your job.
I think I like your point there. People are very blasé. I was having a discussion today in the gym with Jamie, who you know, my PT, and we went to another PT, female PT, and I asked the question. I said, "Is on the basis of this, right? Toxic masculinity." That she knew that's what the discussion was going to be on. I said, "Well, she's single." I said, would you rather, if you're going to be in a relationship with somebody at some point, would you rather be with a strong man or a weak man?" And she said, "I'd rather be the strong man." I said, "Okay, so then what's your definition of a strong man?" And then she thought about it, and then she said a few things about strong men. And then there was another person there, another PT. And then she was giggling. And then we were like, okay, so what's made you laugh? She's like, what's interesting is your definition of strong man to me would be a toxic man. And I was like, okay. So this is a problem now because there is no one definition. It's very subjective, but it gets thrown around like, okay, we have extremes. Like, okay, Andrew Tate is like a very, very extreme version. But then there are definitely the subset of men who are not Andrew Tates, who are now just been told, this is wrong, this is toxic. I thought it was very interesting.
I don't think there's a good middle role model for guys to look up to. So when I said to Sanj, and this is a topic I've heard many podcasters say, where they say, all right, give me a good male role model now that all women can unanimously agree that they're a good person to follow. And everyone that I look back on that I idolized as a kid, very flawed. Very flawed. So I thought, okay, maybe are they not good role models? But instead I could just pick and take parts of what I like about other people's persona and run with that. And a lot of the people that I grew up liking were athletes, but those athletes were really good at sport, but they may not have been good at relationships or marriage or friendships or any of those things that we kind of needed to know or see.
Maybe. I mean, because, okay, if I use an example, if I talk about Sachin Tendulkar or Virat Kohli, stellar, like no scandals, nothing, married, children, great role models. So I think they do, or Roger Federer, super clean. Like there definitely are examples. You're right. There are going to be some who are flawed. But I still think there are.
But they're more serial winners for their craft in winning a sport. Why can't we just have guys that are good guys without having the value of success being put on them, which is you have to have won something really unattainable? Why can't you just be like a good, normal person and that's a good role model? And who would you choose for that?
No, but that's my point to them. But then if somebody's not famous, are you saying a non-famous person as a role model?
No, I'm not saying a non-famous person. I'm saying put sports athletes to the side and then think about it again.
So not sports athletes. So then successful businessmen or not?
I don't know. Maybe businessmen. But then that will feed into the hustle, grind set, make money thing that people are obsessed with. So, okay, let's not include them then. So let's think, all right, are we looking at actors now? Well, actors are playing a fake persona. They're not their real person. How much do you know about them? Let's put them to the side now. And now you're just in this thing where it's whittled down to a small core and you're like, okay, are we looking at sports media figures or like sport or commentators in the space? Like, I don't know, Gary Lineker. Is he a good middle person for people? Michael Richards, is he a good middle person? But he's a sports person. Again, can't include them. So I'm yet to sort of see somebody give me an example that everybody agrees on is a good male role model. And this is where the fundamental problem comes into it when you're young and you're looking up for something. Whereas I think, all right, if I look back on my childhood, I had an older brother who was a good role model and I had uncles who were really driven in their own space, in their own way. I didn't see their flaws until I was much older. And then I understood like, oh, maybe they've got flaws in their life that they haven't dealt with that I can now see later on. Being older, looking at my life, comparing it a little bit and saying, oh, actually, they haven't worked on that bit of themselves at all.
I think the natural arc of being a young person is, because in the show, his dad is definitely his role model. He wants to not let his dad down. Yeah. He's trying to get validation from his dad. And I think for a lot of, hopefully if you have a relationship with your father and or if you have a brother, I didn't have a brother growing up, then that's tends to be your natural role model. Then you get older and you start to see flaws. You don't understand nuance and context, so you might judge. Then you get a little bit more older and you start to realize your own flaws. And then you look through another lens at your parents or whoever these role models were. And you're like, nah, this everything is work in progress. And perfection doesn't exist. And it's unrealistic and unfair to demand perfection from your heroes. But then that goes back to our conversation, which is about, would you want to meet your heroes? And the answer you said was no, because you don't want to, the idea of what they are in your head versus, like I met Jordan Peterson, right? And I got to chat to him for like 5-10 minutes. It's not that long, but I had an idea what he's going to be. He met up to it and I'm like, yeah, okay. Like very, very cool. But I understand what you're saying. It's an interesting question. And I guess part of the answer I would say is hopefully, the role models are closer to home and it can be people in your community. And it should, like parents, man, like, if you take the job of parenting seriously and invest time, then you would hope you build that relationship and you do become the role model for your sons and daughters. What else about the show?
But anybody that has an idea of a good male role model, please let us know in the comments. Tell us. Let us know who you think would be good and we can talk about it and analyze it.
They definitely do exist.
Yeah,
they exist, and I like your question. That's good. Let's see what people say. The definition of toxic male is not universal. It's very subjective.
There's some grey in there, and I think a lot of people do have toxic traits that don't really get picked up. And this is why Married at First Sight is a great show, because it shows you how to pick up on toxic behavior. Sometimes. I mean, at times it is editing, but
Yeah, fine. I think on the other end of the spectrum, there are definitely toxic women as well, though. So that's not just a exclusively male issue.
No, I think in fairness, toxic women are called out a lot as well, very easily. There's been a tweet going stupid viral on Twitter of a lady moaning about her husband saying she wanted to divorce him 3 years ago after their fourth kid because he didn't take out the trash one day or something. Or he didn't do like a couple of things she asked him to do. And his reason was, I was running late for work. And she thought, well, I'm running late for work too. You didn't think about me, X, Y, and Z. And she was getting dragged because people dug into her life and said, well, you work from home. You're both on 6 figures. He works 72 hours a week, judging by his job title. All these other things were brought into it to give context to what she was saying. And they're like, actually, she's a bit of a problem with the stuff that she's saying. Why would you also say this publicly? Why would you make a video about this? Like, people are called out in both ways now. I see more and more. So I feel like it is becoming more and more equal.
What was also interesting when you watched the first episode, when he says when his dad asked him, is that you? And he said, no. See, at that point, because you're not that far in, I was like, oh, maybe he's been framed. Maybe it's just his shoes on somebody else's kid and he's
I could tell.
However. And then by the end of it, and the psychologist has come in and all that kind of stuff, you're just like, when he has that outburst and then he sort of comes back and he's like, oh I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, can I have another hot chocolate, whatever. And he's realized he's lost it in that moment and he just can't believe he can become that person, that violent, aggressive person. I thought that, and actually one of my favorite scenes was when they were driving to that kind of B&Q equivalent to get the paint.
Yeah.
Right. And it was his birthday. And obviously the thing had been, so he'd already been triggered and he couldn't clean it off. He'd gotten the thing and he's clearly using this phrase the therapist is talking about, reclaiming the day. And then he's like, right, we're going to go to cinema and then we're going to get a Chinese. And you could see like, he's just trying to, this is a shit situation. Like the sun situation's gone.
The
yeah. But they all get together like before it kicks off again when he gets to B&Q, whatever. And the real time kind of processing of this is shit and the shit is happening. Like I know when I went through, dark periods of that, there's this concept that gets talked about, which is when bad stuff happens, you reduce your time frames. You don't think about the next 5 years or the next week. You just think about the next couple of hours, the next thing you're going to do. And I saw it happen and play out like really, really well. And I was just like, like that is exactly what it feels like. And I thought that was just, spot on. The acting was spot on, man.
Yeah. I think there was some real insecurity there where the kid said something like, I feel ugly. I don't feel like anybody likes me. and all this stuff. And then at the end, when the woman's leaving him, he says, "But do you like me?" Like he's trying to. It's probably the most amount of FaceTime he's had with another adult woman that is not his mum or his family member.
It's that, and obviously he wasn't told prior that was the last session, and that got sprung up on him, and he was like, "Oh shit!" And then it really hit him. And all he needed, he just wanted that little bit of validation. Just tell me I'm enough. Tell me I'm enough. I mean, how many guys feel that?
That's not her job. She isn't meant to do that.
It's absolutely not her job, even though she might think whatever. I don't know about you, but all guys, I think, at some point have thought, man, I'm not attractive.
We've all thought that we're ugly. Bro, I thought I was ugly the whole time in school, man. Like, when he said
why does no girl speak to me?
After the episode was done, I said to Sanj, I felt ugly for a long time as a kid, especially as a teenager. And she said, "What do you mean?" I said,
"Spots, braces,
listen,
beard."
I had braces at uni. I had a fluffy beard. I had a Pathka that nobody else had in school, so I wasn't built up in that way that anybody understood it. I tried to make a move on certain girls and they were just not interested. So you felt rejected constantly all the time. And no one tells you that rejection is part of the game. Yeah. And it's just, you've had that for years on end. And you just think, what the fuck's going on?
This game is rigged.
No, it isn't. The game's rigged. It's, you're just not attractive. And I wasn't gifted at sport. I wasn't very brainy. Yeah. Which wasn't attractive then anyway. So you did feel ugly. When he said that, I thought, yeah, I get it. And also, fucking hell, can we talk about the emojis?
Yeah, I was going to come to... Well, park the emoji 1 second. The 80-20 rule. Right, the 80-20 rule...
I actually fell for it for years until recently. I thought that's true. Then I Googled it. It isn't true.
Which 80-20 rule are you talking about there? The Pareto principle.
80% of women get 20% of the guys.
Okay, so... See,
it's based on Pareto's law. It's ripped off it.
Yeah, exactly that. Because the actual principle is a sound principle.
Yes, but it's ripped off of Pareto's law and it's hacky.
Yeah. You don't think it applies?
No, I Googled it because I kept saying it and I was like, I've heard that. That's got to be true. Next day, the morning after, I spent an hour researching it and I was like, none of this is true. So it's way more complicated than that.
Fine. But yeah, it's based on the Pareto principle. Yes, the love heart colors. I think all guys were just like, huh? Because you see them.
That was wild.
Because you have the handshakes, right? And you have the handshake based on skin color. That's one thing. And then you have these different color hearts. And I was just like, maybe it's just mood to dependent. And I just, this is nice color, nice color, nice color. Then it made me think, shit, have I been like sending like purple hearts to people I shouldn't be sending purple hearts to?
Yeah, but we don't think like this. It's the younger gen who would think like that. What was it like? Orange is friendship.
Pink, interested
Purple
but not sexually.
Is horny.
Horny, yeah. Pink is
Red
interested
is
but
love.
not sexually.
Pink is what?
Interested but not sexually.
Right. What does that mean then? What are you interested in?
You should look it up, man. I don't know.
So complicated, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That scene in there when he's trying to tell his dad, he's like, "Dad, you don't get it. Look at this. Look at this. Yeah?
Not
bullying. No, Dad."
They're not friends. They don't like each other.
Yeah. But it's that, also that bit when you speak to the psychologist, right? I said this to Shindy in this moment. I was like, because when I was trying to get with Shindy, initially Shindy said no to me, right? And then like way after, like when we're together, I was like, mate, listen, you had no other offers. No one else like lined up. Why are you saying no to me? She's like, just because I didn't have other offers doesn't mean I should accept you. And in that moment, you know, like when she had that pic sent around the school, whatever, and then he came in like playing like the good guy, like, "Oh, it's okay, don't worry, I'll be your friend," and And he's thinking,
in school?
You remember the photo of her top half got sent around the school in the show? The lady who was murdered. He's talking to a psychologist, and he said, "Oh, there's this picture that got sent around," and she found out, obviously, and then everyone in the school was talking about it. So then he came in, tried to be the good guy, and she basically said, "I'm not that desperate." But in that moment, you have nobody and you're still saying no to me. That's why he feels bloody ugly. He's like, even in this, it's like if I was the last Banda on earth and you're still saying no to me. That's the feeling he had.
That's a really good point.
That's the feeling, right? And I was just like, yo. Yeah.
Don't put computers in the kids' room, bro. That's the biggest lesson I learned.
I had a computer in my room.
Yeah, fine. I wouldn't have agreed with that either. My parents didn't allow me to do that. I had to have it on the landing. Then when I was like in sixth form, It was different. I was like, okay, I could use it in my bed if I wanted to.
I guess there's two things: having a computer and having a computer with the internet. This is when internet wasn't a. That's a good thing. Yeah, my room didn't have internet. That was So I could play my games on there.
Go. If you had internet, game over, bro.
Yeah. The internet was on the main shared computer like yours. Yeah. That's a whole different thing. Yeah.
Hanji. Emojis spoken about. There was one more thing I wanted to mention. What was it?
Armed policeman. Did you read the thing about it went to 12 doors? They broke 12 doors. They had a door specialist that would basically fit a new door in between takes.
Really?
Yeah, 12 doors.
That's a shame. That's a shame.
It's madness, isn't it? And then when they were in the van driving to B&Q, the camera was basically on the camera was on top of the car and like sitting on the bonnet or something like this. The way they shot it is it's phenomenal.
The way they did it all in one take was unbelievable. I would highly rate that.
The guy, the copper, sorry, I forgot his name. What's his name? Yeah, I can't remember his name. He's been in that other show as well. But anyway, I think he was on Graham Norton and he was talking about there's a scene, when he's doing the run, the chase at the school.
Yeah.
And he goes, it's called camera running. He goes, I was actually running really slowly. But it looks, and he goes, if you look at it, I'm putting loads of effort in.
It looked really slow when they were running.
Yeah. He goes, I'm putting loads of effort in. But it's like, in Wii, in the Wii. He's doing the Wii arms. And he goes, but I'm not really moving that fast.
Oh, his name was Ashley Waters. Sorry. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, Ashley Waters. Yeah. Because I think he'd said he'd injured his back the day before. He's trying to do something with his kid. And then he turned up to set and he could like barely move. And then there's this running scene.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I want to talk about.
Go.
The way how they show British schools, it is exactly like that in schools. Where there's a few little shits in the school that absolutely wreck it for everybody else. No one can learn. And this Mr. Malik guy, he went viral. And instead people were like, yeah, I don't have Mr. Malik. I have Mr. Singh. I have Mr. Singh in my school. And then they were talking about like how Mr. Singh just didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, he gets asked by the police, doesn't he, in that one scene after the fire drill or something. And Mr. Malik's like, he's like, fucking give me a break, man. He's clearly like a newly qualified teacher. He's been put in this mayhem and he's like, this is shit. So Shindy, I think when Shindy was talking about her school, she was like, it's about 30-40% her experience was of that. Whereas I'm going to be honest, my experience of school was not like that at all. And I was just like, wait, you've muted yourself. You muted yourself. There's no sound.
That's because you went to a grammar school. You didn't go to a state school. If you went to a state school, you would have seen that. I went to a state school for 2 years. It was exactly like that. And then I went private and then I saw like the vibe completely change. Here you go. I got it here. You ready?
Go.
The Mr. Singh clip.
Mr. Singh, for me, he was a supply teacher. But for many, he was that guy. See Mr. Singh at my school? Oh my days, this guy did not give one fuck, two fuck, yellow fuck, or blue. You could do anything you wanted, really. He came here to be a supply, but the only thing he supplied was entertainment. Toilet passes so you could go whenever you wanted. And a bit of time to yourself, because you know you ain't got to do the work. You can do what you want when you got Mr. Singh as your supply. He may have been your maths teacher.
There you go. Mr. Singh, man, I'm telling you.
Yeah, that was a very different school experience, man.
Of course, because as I said in grammar school, bro, very different. But I said to Sanj, it was like at your school. She said, yeah, it was like that. Yeah. So they managed to capture the essence of British schools so well.
I watched it and I thought, why is everyone so angry, man? I was
because that's how angry it gets. Think about it. School is so undersupplied with people. It's not got enough teaching staff. They've obviously had this stabbing thing happen. They're worried about the reputation of the school and being put into emergency measures, which will then fuck up their jobs. There's so many kids that need attention that aren't getting it. There's kids that are depressed and sad. His son's getting bullied. No one gives a fuck. The teachers don't even care. Like, that is how it is in British state schools where you're just overrun by kids.
And like nobody wants to learn. It's like, okay.
Well, yeah, because a lot of those kids are attention starved and they go to school and cause a ruckus.
It's tough.
That's why being a firm teacher in school is essential. You have to be that hard teacher in lessons. Don't take any shit. Throw out the kids who cause problems. Done. When they say, "Why don't you like me, miss? Why don't you like me, sir?" Because you just stop my class all the time.
Lelo. Indy be like, Lelo. You want some?
Lelo.
You want some? I'll give it to you. You as a
They
supply
showed
geography
this in
teacher.
that show on Channel 4.
Get on.
What was it? Do you remember that kid who had that stutter and he couldn't speak properly?
Asian kid?
Yeah, Asian kid.
Yeah.
On that show.
Yeah. I know which one you're on about. Yeah.
Musharraf. His name is Musharraf.
He came a long way.
Musharraf show, Channel 4. Educating Yorkshire. That was a great depiction of British schools because it just caught how fucked it is. See? Did you never watch that? Surely you watched that.
No, I've seen it. It's just been a while. And then I think there was another show I watched, which was like a swap where they took state school kids and took them into like private schools and took private school kids and put them into state schools for like a week.
Ooh, that sounds like a good recipe. How did that go?
It's good. It's really interesting. And then one of the state kid schools went to, I think there's a school in Colchester, which is like the most expensive boarded school in England. And he got a scholarship in the end. Like he liked it that much. And they just found some money and they were like, right, we're going to get you through this thing. He did really well.
That's mad.
Yeah. But it's that thing, isn't it? Like if you have finance, you can buy a lot of privilege and you get access to great teachers. And so schooling can be really, the potential, well, what you can do is
it can take you
amazing.
far, but it's
Really
not
far.
the be all and end all. I do
No,
stand by that.
it's not the be all and end all. It's like, what does Williamson say? Discipline doesn't guarantee success, but not being disciplined definitely guarantees not having success.
All you are is just a quote machine,
Williamson,
man. Just tell me about your life experiences.
yeah.
Don't keep quoting shit. Fucking hell.
It's true though. So what you said there about schooling, so you're right, it's not everything. But if you don't try, the chance of you doing well is a lot less. If you do try and you do well, the chance is higher, but it doesn't guarantee success. I think that's fair.
Yeah, but even if you do well in school, it don't mean shit.
But it can do. That's the thing. You're saying it can do.
But sometimes it just doesn't get you anywhere. Afterwards, like, great, you're really book smart. You're still going to go and punch numbers into a computer somewhere later in life.
Yeah, some people. Or some people just absolutely kill it because of that.
If they get the right opportunities at the right place at the right time, yeah. But if they don't.
If they don't, but you look at the alternative and it's like, well, no one can afford to homeschool people.
Homeschooling is actually becoming more and more popular now.
It's popular, but I don't know what the legality of it is. Like, can you do it yourself as parents?
I don't know how you monitor it correctly or anything, yeah.
There are a couple of guys, these property guys, who have made videos about, they're obviously very rich and they're like, well, we just pay tutors to come and teach. And they include like finance lessons. Yeah, because they probably have disposable income pouring out their arse, yeah. Correct. I'm not saying, but if you don't have that, then I don't know how you're homeschooling people. Well, that's if you've got to work and do that. So then what's the alternative? You have to send them to school, don't you? Also, even if you have a shit experience in school, it does form you a little bit. It gives you some resistance, resilience. So if you take the academics, so how do you socialize? How do you interact with others?
Bang.
How do you... These people debate these points about why you should go to university. Living on your own, manage your own finances. Like, there's so many skills you'll pick up. It's not... What we're saying is it's not the only place. School isn't the only place. University isn't the only place for skills. You can pick up in other environments as well. But we know it happens in those environments. It's a good point. The quote machine, man. That's right. QM quoting Mavi. And on that bombshell, we'll see you guys next week. He's going to love that. He's going to live off that for months now. That's good. All right. But you did do QM on purpose, though, didn't you? You know, of course I did, because I went to QM too. See? Yeah, I like that. That's good. Thank you. People, catch you next week. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed the Amritman episode. Leave us some love on the way out. Please like the episode. Guest episode next week. I'm not telling you who, but it'll be good. Goodbye. Thank you guys for watching. Check out the rest of our episodes here and don't forget to subscribe here. We'll see you guys on the next one.